discretionary. Automatic fiscal policy just happens because of the cycle, part of the business cycle that we are in. So for example, when we go into a recession, automatically unemployment payments increase. When we go into a recession, automatically income tax payments decrease. Those are automatic things. Discretionary fiscal policy, this happens because Parliament has passed some kind of an act or legislation or a law. So discretionary fiscal policy requires an act of Parliament. An automatic fiscal policy just happens. The government with discretionary policy can change one of two things. They can either change government expenditures, so G, or they can change net taxes. Now we are going to make this simple. In Canada, we have a progressive tax system. Depending on how much money you make, that determines the percentage of your income that you're going to pay in taxes. And the more money you make, the higher the percentage of your income that you pay as tax. We are going to keep this really simple, and we are going to assume that everybody pays the same amount in tax. It's not going to be a percentage, it's going to be a number. So it doesn't matter if you make $100 million a year or you make $20,000 a year, you're going to pay the same amount of tax. And we're just doing this to simplify it, and we are going to call all of our taxes autonomous taxes. Autonomous taxes do not change with real GDP, or they don't change with income. So everybody's going to pay the same amount of tax. It's going to give us the same outcome. We're just simplifying things. But let's start looking at expenditures by the government first of all. Remember when we looked at the Keynesian cross method and we looked at government expenditures, they were autonomous expenditures just like investment. So that means that when the government increases government expenditure, the outcome in the economy is the very same as if you and I increase investment. So the government expenditure multiplier is equal to the investment multiplier. Now some of you sent me emails and said, did you need to know the entire appendix to chapter 27? And I said, no, because we just covered the investment part of it. Now we're going to pick up the rest of the appendix to chapter 27. Now again, I'm going to work an example on Wednesday with these multipliers. If you're really a math geek, go ahead and read it, but you don't need to because it's far more difficult than you actually need to know. So what you need to know right now is the government expenditure multiplier is the same as the multiplier that we did when we did the Keynesian cross. The government expenditure multiplier is equal to 1 over 1 minus the slope of the AE curve. It works exactly the same way as when we changed investment. There is nothing different except that we're going to increase or decrease government expenditures instead of investment. If it's an open economy, it's 1 over 1 minus the slope of the AE curve. If it's a closed economy, what is it? It's 1 over 1 minus the MPC, okay? Or 1 over MPS. Exactly the same. We don't need to sweat this. Not a problem. However, the autonomous tax multiplier is different, two ways. First of all, if taxes increase, what happens to consumption expenditure? Taxes increase, consumption expenditure decreases. So the autonomous tax multiplier is going to be negative. An increase in taxes decreases GDP. A decrease in taxes increases GDP. So tax multiplier is negative. First of all, that's it. Secondly, when there's a change in tax, it has to work through disposable income. Okay? So, when we increase tax, disposable income decreases. And then again, it works through GDP because when our disposable income decreases, the amount we consume decreases. And it changes by an amount equal to the change in income times the marginal propensity to consume. In other words, when the government increases expenditure by $1, then we take that dollar and multiply it by the multiplier. When they change taxes by $1, that dollar doesn't automatically become $1 of expenditure. We save some of that dollar and we spend some of that dollar. So therefore, when we have a change in autonomous taxes, it's not this expenditure. It's going to be, so the autonomous tax multiplier is going to be negative MPC divided by 1 minus the slope of the AE curve. Okay. So now again, if I have a closed economy, the autonomous tax multiplier is going to be negative MPC over 1 minus MPC, or negative MPC over MPS. Okay? So let's have a look at this. Suppose we have a closed economy with MPC equal to 0.75. The government expenditure multiplier is what? It's going to be 1 over 1 minus 0.75, which is what? Which is 4. Okay. The autonomous tax multiplier is negative MPC, so negative 0.75 divided by 1 minus 0.75, which is equal to negative 3. In other words, if I want to make a certain change in real GDP on the economy, I'm going to have to change taxes by more than I would change government expenditure. Why is that? Because people save some of their disposable income. So a $1 change in taxes is going to have a smaller effect than a $1 change in government expenditure. Anybody have any questions about that? Okay. So I'm going to give you a question I'm going to work on, and I'm going to take it up when I see you next. So we have an economy, and in this economy, C is equal to 100. No, make it, hold on. 100 plus 0.75 YD. Net taxes are going to be 10. Investment is 100. Government expenditures are 125. X is going to be 150. And M is going to be 0.05 times Y. I want to know what is government expenditure multiplier and what is the autonomous tax multiplier. So we've got time, so let's work through this. The first thing I want you to do is find the consumption function. So C is equal to 100 plus 0.75, and then in this bracket, you need to put in what YD is. So it's going to be Y minus taxes, which are 10. So C is equal to 100 plus 0.75Y minus 7.5. So C is equal to 92.5 plus 0.75Y. If I make a math error, jump up and down. Does everybody agree with what I just did? Yes, no? Someone? Yes, you. Okay. Then we need to calculate AE. AE is equal to 92.5 plus 0.75Y, that's C, plus I, plus G, plus X, minus 0.05Y. Okay, I don't have a calculator, so. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So what's my government expenditure multiplier? It's equal to 1 over 1 minus the slope of the AE curve, which is 1 over 0.3, which is 3.33. And what's my autonomous tax multiplier? So I guess you don't need to do this, I just did it for you. The autonomous tax multiplier is negative MPC over 1 minus the slope of the AE curve, which is equal to negative 0.75 over 1 minus 0.7, which is negative 0.75 over 0.3. Okay, I definitely need help on that one. I guess I don't. Negative 2.5. So notice, government expenditure multiplier is positive, autonomous tax multiplier is negative, and this number here, absolute value, is greater than this number here. Okay. Now, from the appendix to chapter 27 then, what you need to be able to do is what I just did here, plus what we did before, and nothing more. Okay, great. I'll see you on Wednesday.